No, Jerry, it's cool, you're cool, and we're all still cool.
Oh, good.
Something like that.
Good, okay.
Where'd you go diving today?
Over on the windward side, it's called Kailua-Kona Bay.
Oh, okay. I live on that
But the
side.
what's the two islands? Oh, Jeff said, Jeff's just down the hall.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, Jeff and Terry are there.
Okay.
81 or something. Might call it Destin right at home. Yeah.
Did you see Gilligan's Island? That little tiny one? That's flat.
Yeah, we're right next to that.
That's
right a little farther than that.
Right, I know. I live right over there.
Oh, is that the sandbar out there?
That's Gilligan's Island. When
Gilligan's
you watch
Island.
the TV show. And then you wonder how it took them 20 years to get back.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Steve, what do you got?
You want to go take a picture? Yeah, I'm gigantic.
If you have to.
Sure.
Sure, whatever.
Big,
anything you like as long as it doesn't hurt.
No, that's my motto.
Yeah, right.
Okay, here we go. Okay, one more time. Good. Can you get one of me with it? I have this collection of all these people.
Sure, why not?
What the hell now?
I wouldn't want to fuck up your collection.
Yeah, Thank you.
That's good. Garcia would let me take a picture with it.
Right there. Okay.
Okay, how about a handshake?
Okay.
Yeah, that's nice meeting you. Thank you. I'll put, the last one was Sammy Moore, you know, Sam and Dave?
Yeah.
And he was, I grew up listening to Rascals and all the soul stuff. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
and everybody else listened to, I guess, you folks. And,
Hey, nobody listens to us, man. You know, a handful of freaks listen to us. Everybody else listens to Sam and Dave and the Rascals and the
You're
others.
still here, though, right?
Well, if you stick to it long enough, eventually you get good. That's the moral of that story, if there is one.
Is this scuba diving you go, or snorkeling? How long have you been into scuba diving?
Let's see, getting on to 3 years now. Not very long, but I'm long enough to. I really love it. It's really.
This is after the illness, or?
Yeah, since the illness.
Doctor tell you to lower your stress or something?
No.
Found it?
No, I have a friend who's been into it for some time, and had been wanting to turn us all actually onto it. She lived over here. I'd never come over here really much. So one of the times I came over, rented a house in Kauai. He came over with Steve and some other friends, some of the guys in the band, and she came over to the island and says, "I'm taking you guys scuba diving," and she took us out for an introductory dive with some local people over there on a boat, and I just had such a great time. I really enjoyed it, and I decided I'd get certified.
So you finally.
So I did that back at home and all that, and I did my final, my open water dive over at Kona, Big Island, with some other friends of ours. And I also did my advanced open water over there too. I like it a lot.
What does it feel like to be under there? I mean, what do you?
Have you ever been scuba diving?
No, I've been snorkeling. I haven't been scuba diving.
Well, it helps if you like the water. You know?
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that likes the water. I like the way it feels. I just like slipping around in it. And it's the closest you're going to get to being a fish. You know, if you ever had fantasies as a kid of being a fish or, swimming off with the sharks or something like that, that kind of stuff, it's perfect. It's great. You know, I mean, it's the closer you get, you're going to get to becoming marine life yourself. So, as far as the experience is also, if you like fish, the experience is like having a sort of an infinite aquarium to swim around in, actually, where you can touch stuff and pick stuff up and look at things. And there's a lot to learn, and it's also a nice physical experience. Plus, it's very easy. It's not a difficult thing to do. It isn't really hard.
Not too strenuous, huh?
Well, it's a certain kind of strenuous, but it's not. It's perfect for somebody like me.
I was going to say you're not known to get up there and jog above.
No, I'm not into high impact kind of activity, but I still am basically a physical person. I mean, playing music is a physical thing. You know, it's about muscles and muscle control and that. So I mean, what I do is physical. It's not strenuous, but it is physical. So the diving is one of those things. Only it has a component of interest going for it, where there's stuff that you learn about. You learn about what you're looking at. And if you're at all interested or intrigued by it, you start to see circles within circles, what things eat what things. And it's interesting from a biological viewpoint. Everything that's underwater around here in these waters lives. The coral lives. The goo lives. Everything you see lives. You know, everything is alive. And everything is busy eating something or being eaten by something. And it's a fascinating.
You feel like an alien or something going in another world.
Yeah, I feel like a fish. Yeah.
Thank you. Nice meeting you. I'll be out of your way.
Okay, take care.
Okay. Have a good concert.
I hope so.
I'll see you back at the office. I'll talk to you.
Bye.
So the show in Hilo is for Torch? Is that
That's right.
The ocean research, I don't know what the C is.
Something or I don't know what it is. It's an acronym, and it doesn't really mean anything except that it's a lot of people there who are professionally involved in water recreational things of one sort or another, fishing, scuba diving, all that sort of stuff. People who use the water for recreational, professional purposes. And that's essentially who the people are that Torch is. I can find out exactly the acronym. Hey, what's the acronym mean, Torch? Again, ask Jeff. Is he there? Yeah. The Ocean and Recreation Council. Right.
Ocean Recreation. No.
Ocean Recreation. Yeah. Ocean Recreation. That makes more sense. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So the concert is a benefit to raise money for them to save the coral reef. Is that?
Yeah, it's essentially, if you've been following the reef beef deal that's been going on over there for some time, it has to do with the anchor mooring pins that are being set in there, and the ongoing drama about getting licensed and getting them set in.
It's on Kona side or Hilo?
It's on the Kona side so far, yeah.
I think it's going to be all the islands.
But right now,
Yeah.
I just came back from the Big Island, discovering the volcano.
Right.
And just
Get any on you?
No, you get real close to it. It's,
I believe that.
It's intense. It's like this town was there, and now it's
gone.
a ghost town. And if you get a chance, I'd go check it out. It's still.
I probably will. Yeah, it's one of those
ocean.
things. It's just not a real great idea to build your house
No, actually,
between the volcano and the ocean. Yeah.
It's a real sacred kind of place to the ancient Hawaiians, and
Yeah.
a lot of hippie folk move over. And land was so cheap; it was like the last place you could buy land on these islands.
Well, now everybody
People
knows
were building up
why.
their shacks, and they all.
I mean, it's
kind
just
of,
it's one of those things. It seems
rather memorable.
It's easy from California to say, hey, but I feel sorry for the people who've had that happen to them. It's like the ultimate bad trips. There's nothing you can do about it. Lava is one of those things. There's not a thing you can do about it. It's not like you can stand in your backyard with a hose or something, And
No, it is pretty weird. Most of them took it pretty well, though. They're just, we'll just move 3 miles down the road until the next one gets us. They're just married to that area.
right. Well, it's one of those things. Once it's happened to you, there's not really a whole lot you can do. You
Yeah.
don't have to complain.
They're like, you accept the reality of you're in danger.
Hello. Hello. Hey, sweetheart. Can I call you back? I'm right in the middle of an interview. Yeah. What's your name again?
Ben DiPietro.
Ben DiPietro. Want to speak to him? Say hello. Okay, good.
Who's this? Hello? How you doing? I sure will. He's my hero too. Alrighty, thanks.
Hello, hon? Yeah? That's right. Okay. Okay, do you want to call me back in about 45 minutes? Okay, I'll call you. Okay, bye-bye. He says if I'm having sex with him, he uses a condom. Jesus.
Who is that?
It's my girlfriend.
Your kids here with you too, or?
No, Trixie, one of my daughters, is going to probably come. She's 15. She's going to come to Kona, I think, for a weekend. But they're all in school and stuff. So.
When's the last time you went on vacation?
Well, my whole life is a vacation. You know what I mean? You mean when was the last time I came to Hawaii?
No, when's the last time you actually took, like you said, a time here and said I was going away from the whole?
Well, this isn't strictly speaking.
No,
I mean, I'm going to be working.
Yeah.
You know, so this is a working vacation. Last time I was over here and did this was January. I get out for about anywhere from 3 weeks to a month of diving about twice a year, maybe 3 times a year. It depends on whether I'm lucky or not, you know, and what the space is like in Grateful Dead schedule. But usually, for the last 3 years anyway, we've had kind of like occasional month-long holes in our schedules that allow us all to do stuff like this. We finally got smart.
Find it in there, yeah.
Yeah, right. And just say, hey, you know, there's no real reason why we have to work during this period of time. We can work if we want to. But on the other hand, see, this is one of those things that works for you and against you. When you take a vacation, the way the Grateful Dead works and the way the music is and everything like that, when you take a vacation, it takes a while to get back into it. So we still are playing well if we're no farther than 2 weeks from any major shows, you know what I mean? But over 2 weeks, when you get out into 3 weeks and a month, it really starts to get rusty. And so then it's one of those things where we're the first 2 or 3 shows of a tour, any given tour, or we're playing makeup, you know. And it takes about three shows or so to get back to where we were. And then another, maybe another week before we start actually getting to new territory, so to speak.
There's no truth that you're scouting out new spots underneath the water. It might be a little more peaceful at this point.
Nah, not really. We haven't gotten a lot of shit lately back home.
Another one happened this weekend. I just talked to friends in LA.
Well,
a peripheral thing that has nothing to do with the show, but you'll get blamed for it.
That's right. Somebody will find a way to hang it on us anyway, or we will be
implicated,
smirched. None of the good stuff ever makes it. You know, nothing good ever makes the papers. But of course, that's the nature of news. The nature of news is that it's the bad stuff that you hear mostly. I mean.
I agree. I call up the cops every morning who died. No one, and I get it. You know,
right.
Damn it,
it's not news unless something bad happens. So that tends to be. We fall within that parenthesis. You know what I mean? Although the fact is that our shows have actually been getting more well behaved and the audience is getting more and more responsible every show. They're like getting to be amazing now compared to most rock and roll audiences. I mean, our audience actually picks up after itself.
I've been to 105.
You're a dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I thought you mentioned that to you. No, that was why this was this photo with you.
Yeah, okay.
Beyond.
Right.
This is like getting to Oz and meeting the wizard.
Come on, man.
I know you don't like that.
No, Jesus.
I know you don't. It's hard for you to accept that there are people like that.
It's hard for me just to play. You know, I mean, everything else, everything above and beyond that is really. You know, I mean, well, it's hard for me to take it seriously because, I mean, really, there's nothing special about being in the Grateful Dead except for what we collectively all go through, you know. But I mean, it's the audience that certainly goes through every bit as much of it as I do.
Oh yeah,
maybe more. You know?
What you do is you, at least from my perspective, is you express what we are actually realizing that we're feeling, or what's just underneath our surfaces a lot of times. And I think that's where a lot of your, the fact that you maintain that integrity toward it is what I get.
It's not. It's it's not one of those things that it's not a question of being able to. It's not a question of maintenance. It's one of those things of where we really don't have any choice. You know what I mean? We just do what we think we're doing. You know what I mean? And our version of the Grateful Dead as well. We have to practice and we have to work up some old tunes. And if Weir has to do that tune one more time, I'm going to go nuts. You know what I mean? It's real regular.
Yeah.
And we do it just the way we think we're supposed to. But there's something about it that we don't understand either. You know what I mean? And we certainly don't have any control over it. It's part of what it turns out to be, somehow. But just because we're in that position doesn't mean that we don't have any jurisdiction over it. Certainly, we certainly don't have any control over it. It seems to want to happen, and that's it. All the rest of it is sort of the whole thing has kind of invented itself. Everybody seems to want it to happen, so whatever it is happens. It's a mechanism of that sort, That
what I'm amazed is I had moved to Oregon, and so I've only been to maybe 4 or 5 in the last 2 years, and there's usually a wide gap in between them now. But when I go, it's like the instant you're in, it's just like picking right back up where you were. You run into the same people in the same exact location because you just knew they were going to be there.
Yeah,
and it's really like that a lot. It's great that you can have something to plug in and out, and whether you're in it all the time or not, or whether you're stuck here and you go back just occasionally.
It's a huge community.
You're still part of it. Yeah,
that's the other part that's fun. And that's fun for us too. It's fun, the thing of looking out at having that continuity of the same faces. It makes it so that you really do get conscious about. Well, we can't do what we did last time because
at least a quarter of the people heard us.
These people heard us do that. We have to do something, try to do something else. So that's part of the thing that keeps us on our toes. The fact that the audience is rigorous. As opposed to most audiences, they're not a passive audience. They're working hard. A lot of them. Most of them are working pretty hard.
How does that differ from Jerry Band? Where did that fit into you?
My band, I don't know because once again, it's something that's happening outside of me, and I can't really see it. I'm just up there doing what I like to do. For me, the Garcia Band is it's fun. I do the songs that I love, no matter whose they are or where they come from, and it's very consonant. Whereas the Grateful Dead has some elements of dissonance in it that keeps and makes it interesting. In other words, we don't all agree absolutely about what is totally the right thing at any given moment. My band has much more of it's more music of agreement in a way. I don't really have a hard time explaining this too, but the people in the band play the way I would play if I were playing their instruments, kind of, It reflects more of my taste specifically.
Do you feel that there's still a bit more intimacy involved in JGB because you play in smaller places?
That's part of it too. And I've always, originally my band, up until a couple of years ago, my band played mostly bars and stuff. So I like keeping in touch with that. That's part of my roots, the thing of just playing in bars for a rowdy bar crowd.
Yeah, I used to go to a country club for a seat and 2 feet away. That's a great place.
That's that kind of stuff, those kind of venues, that's the place where we played for years and years. And it's only in the last couple of years that we sort of graduated to theaters. Now in San Francisco, at any rate, the Warfield, which has been converted over to a huge bar in a way, has become our like the Keystone used to be. It's become our sort of neighborhood bar. But again, it's one of those things where the band has to work in the cracks that are left by the Grateful Dead and the Grateful Dead schedule.
Did you practice with them before you got here? When's the last time you all got
No, we
together?
played a couple of shows not too long ago, though, within the last 3 weeks. And my band, also, you got to remember now, my band with these people in it has been together for eight years, which is longer than a lot of bands are in existence. And me and John have been playing together for almost
he's been at every one just about
for quite a long time. So the roots of this music and this band go pretty deep. I think that's probably the thing that surprises most people is how really complete the music is. And it's a big sound too for what's essentially a 4-piece band.
In some ways, I almost enjoy it more because
there's a lot of people that do.
You just let it all, there's a lot more freewheeling atmosphere to it.
Well, it's fun for me, It's fun for me. It's one of those things that it never is a burden. Sometimes the Grateful Dead is so huge, it can be cumbersome. Although I love it too, it's I don't know what it's like. It's like you're somebody has some good metaphor somewhere. Dick Allgaier said he read something on the well where somebody said something like the Grateful Dead is my luxury liner and Garcia Band is my speedboat or something. It's not exactly accurate, but okay, that works pretty good. I would put it more like, I don't know how I put it, So I have described it before. It's kind of like the Grateful Dead is your wife, and the Garcia Band is my girlfriend, my wife, my girlfriend. I think I can say that here in Hawaii without offending anybody. Oh, this is AP, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, well, leave the wife and girlfriend out of it, or everybody will be pissed off at me.
They've already got enough lawsuits.
Oh, really? Are they suing you for something?
No. What the women in the company did a few years back was sue the company alleging discrimination, and they won. And so they instituted a quota system that pretty much a lot.
Is that based on content or on the people who work for it?
It's pretty much they get 2 out of every 3 jobs filled to this point.
Whoa!
Until they get up to a certain level that was mandated by this federal judge, and I don't know, no one, even if they've made it a level.
I bet that's got a lot of people really pissed.
Well, people like my age, we're just kind of starting up and getting pushed down because there are jobs that,
that's not fair.
They don't get them because they're giving them away to other people.
That doesn't strike me as being terribly fair.
No, it's not. But it's
I can understand that the beef the women have is definitely real, but
it sort of sets it on its ear and turns it around.
Yeah.
Like 2 wrongs to equal 1. Did JGB put out the acoustic album? I keep hearing that an electric one is due.
Well, we have recorded. It's whether an album is going to come out of it remains to be seen, but eventually something will. But we recorded really successfully one group of gigs at the Warfield in San Francisco, and I think I'd like to record at least one more run of 3 or 4 days, and I think then we'd have an album in the can. The results are, some of the things sound really, the sound is excellent on the tape, so I think we're going to get a good sounding album out of it. As far as when, it probably, I don't know when, maybe the end of this year or early next year, maybe before that if we get really, really lucky, but that's we might be able to put 4 days right at the beginning of August or something like that.
Yeah, already got that worked out.
That would work out really great.
We have a couple other openings.
Anyway, it isn't definitely. We don't have it done.
It's still in the can.
It's still on the. It's
a work in progress.
Work in progress. That's always a good excuse. It's work in progress. But the early proofs look good. It looks like it's going to sound pretty damn good. I was amazed myself. I haven't been listening to us for a long time. God, I couldn't believe it. It sounded so.
You think this current version is one of the better?
Oh, this is definitely it. This is the Garcia Band here. This is definitely it. This is the best it's ever been, and it's, at this stage, it's just been getting better and better and better. The players are everybody in the band loves the music, and everybody in the band likes the band, and everybody in the band, it's a chemistry thing too. It's one of those things that, with the Grateful Dead, we were very lucky. We were lucky that the chemistry between everybody has always been just amazingly good. And the Garcia band, this version of it, the chemistry is really great. Everybody really likes it, and everybody puts a lot into it. It's just, it works.
You gonna come to the show, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
It'll be fun playing over here. The setting is so pretty.
the outside here, yeah. I've been to the shell. I've been here about 5 months.
Yeah, I'm sorry we aren't doing more than one show here, but it's because that's usually better for us that we play better. We do have 2 nights running, 3 nights running, but even so, I have the feeling that we'll do really nicely here.
Yeah, it's got that nice outdoor. Have you been to you're playing the Hilo?
I haven't played in Hilo, no, but I know the place a little bit. I know about it.
UB40 just played there, and they had a mini riot, and they're killing a police officer. So you guys are next ones in town.
Oh,
So
great.
you know.
Who is it to play there?
UB40.
Oh.
They're doing a little Hawaiian Island tour here. Working vacation, I guess. And
You know, please also.
after the show, there was a fight that broke out or something. About 200 kids were involved, and the next day they found a policeman of severe beating to the head.
No shit, really? Horrible. Fucking
So,
horrible.
yeah, you guys are the next ones in there, so it may not be as casual maybe as we were hoping.
Thanks for telling us.
I didn't know if you knew that. You're just on the news tonight.
Well, I think we're bringing a crowd that isn't exactly the bludgeon about the head.
No,
and
I didn't think
shoulders.
UB40 was the bludgeon type either, though.
Well, you never know.
It's just the location. People are pretty starved there for entertainment.
They must be fucking starved or something if they're killing people in a UB40 concert. What's the matter? Don't they have any rap bands over here that they can go kill people
They
at?
can do it their own way. Right? Yeah, no, that's I just heard about it too the other day. Because he died Sunday into Monday.
Shit, that's really a drag. Well, it's one of those things. It's just, I don't know. I don't think you can blame music for
It could be
that.
unrelated to the show, in some way.
It's just like the stuff on our shows.
I don't know the details.
No, I just know they attributed it to, they were throwing rocks in bottles, and it just looked like he got a severe bruise to the head. And I don't know if he got hit with a bottle or something that pummeled him. But,
He might have been a guy that everybody hated.
yeah, he might have.
You can't tell with stuff like that.
Right.
Right.
So, that's
He's
true.
been beating up drugs for years over there.
They all go back out.
You never know. Oh, this is the one about the band.
Dixie,
Traveling All-Stars or something or another. No, that's the other one. There's the one about the something or the Dixie something or another.
Dixie.
The Dixie Chickens.
Sticking on bad news for a minute, I guess you've been out banned from the Greek and the Frost. But
That's
is that like that's home. I mean, those are
yeah, but
I became a dead at Frost.
I know, but it's one of those things. It's here. We've been having trouble with them all along. See, I mean, it's not. It's partly the university, but it's mostly the people who live around the area.
The funny thing is, if I could just interject something for a second, and this is really baffling to all of us, man. You might be able to help us. We didn't even want to play there this year.
No, we didn't have any
We've
plans to
outgrown
play
the
there.
places, you know.
We can't. Yeah, it's really cumbersome anymore to play there.
That's what's so strange about it. We weren't even going to play there. You know?
But they've made such a point of scored so many
They
points
have
by it,
to, but-
and now say they are going to let us play.
It got more airplay. It was everywhere in the country, respectfully.
Yeah, it came over the wire. That's all I knew. And San Francisco
It
wrote
got
it up.
everywhere. Then it got, like entertainment. You know,
Then they've been
everything.
discussing it endlessly. I mean, it's not enough that they just mention it, but they've also
We weren't even
been.
going to go there. We were stretching it by playing in those places because they're kind of on the small side.
Yeah, we've gotten to the point where it's definitely too small for things. Does anybody want anything to drink? There's a couple of beers in there if you're interested. You'll have to get it yourself.
Yeah, I'm thinking more in terms from like a standpoint that it's always been the.
Well, they're great. I love it, but I can still play there with my band.
The universities were never open. They never really felt comfortable after.
No, that's true.
Stanford's a pretty, starting place.
The ironic thing is they let Paul McCartney, UC let Paul McCartney play in their stadium. They don't let anybody in there. It's one of those things, I don't know, what is it? The thing about a prophet doesn't get no respect.
Goes house.
Yeah, it's one of those trips. I mean, I don't want to compare us.
One or that's
I don't want to liken us to
temporary.
Jesus, but actually, both places are places that are kind of special. But at least we have to still have one outdoor place in the Bay Area that we can play. We can still play Shoreline, which is, while it's tightly controlled, is an awfully nice place to play. It sounds good there. That's the Greek I'll miss most, I think. Just because it's really beautiful from an on-stage point of view, and that's one of the things that's rare. I mean, it's one thing to be in the audience looking at the stage, but it's another thing to be on the stage looking at the audience.
Yeah.
And then the Greek theater is one of those places. The audience looks great. You know, they kind of wrap around, and it looks just, you know what it's like. It's just a great looking place. And there's an intimacy there for an outdoor thing too. That really, you feel pretty close to everybody there. It's, you just about throw a rock at anybody in the audience.
Yeah, sure. Sort of cutting down on where. What are the options?
Well, we were having this problem everywhere, really.
Right.
I mean, the thing was, the last couple of tours, we've earned a lot of. We've done a lot of makeup. I mean, the audience has behaved itself so well, extraordinarily well, and we haven't had any real difficult, complex incidents. You know, in all the places we play, the big places, and so. You know, I mean, everybody knows, in the audience anyway, we've been communicating to the deadheads, you know, what it is that we have to deal with, and all this stuff is, they know about all the struggles that we're having and all the problems we're having about deadheads calling attention to themselves and trying not to scare the people in the town and trying not camping out, doing all the stuff that we've had to eliminate because it's getting in the, you know, it's frankly too large for most of the places we play. Except for New York City, where we could play forever in Madison Square Garden. There could be all the deadheads in the world there, and it's just another thing in New York.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, yeah. There it doesn't, you know, that's probably the one big exception. But other places, they get uptight about the downtown area. You know, San Francisco they do, and a lot of other places.
Why do you play Brendan Byrne and Nassau then instead of just going to the garden?
Well, because we can't always get the Garden. The Garden is a highly desirable place to work on any level. So everything else, the circus and everything else, gets there before we do usually. We're usually only ahead. We're only about a year ahead of ourselves. In fact, we're usually not even that much. We're usually 6 to 8 months ahead of ourselves, and that's usually not enough time to get the the timing the way we want it. You know what I mean? So then we have to settle for whatever else we can get. Yeah. Now also, the Garden is a tremendously expensive gig too.
Yeah,
From our point of view, the overhead is amazing there. You know, it really is. As you can imagine what it's like. It's got the biggest union crew in the world, probably. And just the overhead generally is very, very, because it's so visible, it's very, very expensive. And staying in New York City, that's expensive too. So the whole deal is, it's more, we play there because it's a kick in the ass, and not because it's a hugely profitable venue.
Is that what keeps you from playing here too?
Well, there isn't any place to play here. I never realized that Honolulu was quite so big. That's it. The stadium, I guess, is it, huh?
That would probably be the one place I could
Yeah,
accommodate.
we probably will play here if we ever get around to going to the Orient, to Japan or Australia, which we keep talking about doing, but always stays about a year away. You know, it's like, yeah, sure, next spring we're going to go to the Orient, and we're actually going to go to Europe this autumn, which is in itself is a major accomplishment.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I remember I was there in '85, and people were. What they would do was like rent out this barn house and get this gigantic sound system and just play tapes for 24 hours and pretend they were at a show. And they'd have like
Right.
They'd have cake with a little.
Where was that?
Just outside of London, there was these people. It's called the Deadhead Information Exchange. I don't even know if they're around anymore or not. And it was led by this
Poor people that receive so little
3,000 hours.
It received so little attention from us.
And hadn't been to a show since like 1972 or something, and you know was still waiting. And they get all the people from all over the country who come flock to this place for a day, and I happen to meet up with them and go to their parties. It's a real trip. Yeah, they just sit there waiting till they come back. You know, it's like I just left the East Coast tour. I said, yeah, I just saw them more times this month than I guess you have in your life, man. And they were just tremendously into it.
I know, it's the hardest thing in the world for us to make that jump from the East Coast to Europe.
So, no Red Square this fall then? Or is that...
Not Red Square, but we are playing in Berlin.
West Berlin.
West Berlin, not East
Wow,
Berlin.
that should be cool.
We're trying to work stuff out.
Yeah, we're working on it. Yeah, that's still not
None of
absolutely.
it's written and solid. We're working
That should keep things interesting for a while. You're gonna, I've heard Crosby, Stills and Nash in a big summer.
Yeah, Crosby, Stills and Nash are opening some. Bruce Hornsby's opening some, and Edie Brickell and New Bohemians are opening some.
That's a good fit, huh? There's always this comparison.
Yeah, well,
I think she did a little work with her. Right?
yeah, I think she's just great. I love her a lot. She's also a member of the Garcia's Mystery All-Star Darkness and Confusion band.
Album due soon, of course.
Well, no, it's actually something I'm going to do sometime in the next year or so. I've been working on it ever since I worked with Beatty and Rob Wasserman, and it may get Bruce Hornsby and maybe Branford Marsalis. Actually, Bruce is in. Branford's still in too, apparently.
Shows.
Yeah, it's going to be a kind of a one-shot deal, but Edie Brickell has this fabulous thing that she can do that's like magic. You can play any melody or any style of music, any changes, and she can spontaneously invent a song that goes with it, with a perfect melody, perfect length, and it'll make sense and everything. You know, I mean, it's incredible. I've never heard anybody get improvise right in the now, absolutely on the spot, and make it sound really, really good. Like something, you know. She can do it with the same authority that any good instrumentalist can play a nice, confident solo. Only she doesn't have to have heard it before. She can do it cold.
Just on the fly.
Yeah. So I've always had this fantasy of having a band that doesn't have any material. You know, you just go out and start playing. But you need musicians with amazing. The thing of being able to just lay something down and just start playing, and you have to have also amazing intuition and amazing ears. You have to be able to be really good on those levels, and it takes special players. So once I did this thing with Edie, I started looking for people who fit into those categories, and it can't be very big either. It's got to be pretty small, because otherwise you get everybody stepping on each other's toes. It's just about. So I think I got the right people. It's just getting the time and everybody's schedule and all that, putting that together. But that's one of those projects that also I played a little on Bruce's new record too, which is coming out pretty soon. I got a copy of it about a week ago, and I really like it. It sounds really good. It has great songs and Bruce's good performances on it.
He's in quite a few shows every now and then.
Yeah. He's a great player. He's one of those guys that fits in really well no matter what. And he listens very carefully, and he has a good command of styles. He can tell right away what's appropriate in any given tune. You know.
Have you talked to Ornette Coleman?
I haven't seen him for a while, but he's really a sweet person. He's a great man, so far we've been missing him the times we've been to New York. But
I really like that album.
Yeah, he's just an amazing player, and it was fun to do that. It was a fun project. I learned a lot working with Ornette.
What's in the future for the Dead? Do you guys have any new? Are you working on new?
We're
stuff?
working on a live album. I think we've got this one pretty much in the can. Phil and Cutler are working on it back home, and I suppose I'll be working on it too during the summer, or coming up in the next few months. We hope to have it out by summer. I think we probably will.
Is that material from how far back?
It's mostly from the last tour.
Any thought? I mean, you have this vast vault of stuff there that people are dying for you to put out on CD.
Yeah.
Is that being
Actually, that is being activated presently, and maybe by Christmas, the first of our archival stuff, that stuff from the vault, will be coming out, and that will be an ongoing thing. And it'll probably come out in the through Grateful Dead merchandising rather than with a record company.
Yeah, people have been crying for that for years.
Yeah,
Is that
well,
what sets of shows or particular shows?
It remains to be seen. There's several different approaches, but it seems that it's going to start out by being a few choice shows, or like the most requested shows, you know what I mean, or whatever. Deadhead's personal favorites, you know.
Yeah. You're gonna have a call or something?
No, we've got one of the guys who's working on it is a guy who's a major tape collector, and who's had a huge Grateful Dead collection forever, and has spent an awful lot of time listening, and also is plugged in to the tapers and the collectors and all that, and he has a pretty good sense of what it is that people like, and also Dan Healy is the other participant in that, the kind of guiding force behind it. And he's got more experience listening to the Grateful Dead probably than any other person in the world. So it's in good hands, the whole project. This will be an ongoing thing, like I say. So if the shows you want doesn't come out in the first month, it definitely will come out later on.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. They'll all be CDs, and they'll all be remastered, and they'll all be as good as it can be. So it'll be as good as we can make it, let me put it that way.
Yeah, that's tremendous. That can take forever. It's just one of those
We expect it to take us well past the turn of the millennia. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you must have, as far as going back and getting real old material, and it's still kind of hard to.
Well, you see, the other approach, one of the other approaches to it would be like the from day one approach. You know, that's release everything, the oldest stuff first, and just release everything.
Just go in a chronological
But that's too sweeping for the members of the band. You know what I mean? I don't. Most of us can't handle it. It's too.
Go back that
yeah, God, we don't want to go back that far.
Yeah, I've got a tape of you and Sarah playing.
Oh my God, where did you get that?
I guess KPFA played it on the radio.
Oh my
It's just
God.
it's about 45 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I guess you're playing in one of the.
The Tangent. That was
with
the
the
place we
Tangent,
played, the
yeah.
Tangent in Palo Alto.
Yeah, and it's got the what's his name, the Weaver Roll, and a couple other great songs on it.
Yeah, it's got some
really
nice
fun to
songs.
listen to. It's super quality.
Oh, we had a nice time, Sarah and I. You know, we had a nice little thing. You know, that's the only chance anybody has to hear me play the fiddle. What is my fiddle playing rotten? Woo! I forgot all about it. I'd like to hear that sometime and see what it's like.
Well, I can make one up before I get it to you Saturday.
Oh my God! Yeah, do it if you could. If you would, I'd really appreciate
Yeah,
that.
no problem.
Yeah, I don't have any remnants.
Tomorrow. I get the other
That's
side.
going way back.
That's about half an hour or so, and then there's some Warlock stuff or early pre-Warlock stuff, and then the other side is Cassidy from in the middle of a rap, two separate raps that are about 45 minutes. It's a real interesting tape.
Oh, great.
Interesting something.
Yeah, I was thinking that we ought to let Kesey put out, you know, that thing they've got. They're now producing tapes from their acid test stuff and all that. Zane Kesey is. We ought to let them put that stuff out through merchandise. And I was thinking that would be nice. Related weirdness, you know.
I was going to ask you about that. If you had heard about that, if you had a chance to
Oh, it's terrific. Well, there's one thing they have of Cassidy in the back house that is as good an example of the flavor of Neil Cassidy, the way he looked and the way he moved and the way he talked, as anything you can get. I mean, it's right up there. That combination of that and you know, a good read through Kerouac's Cassidy stuff, and you'll have Cassidy. You know, you'll have a good flash of who he was and what he was like.
Yeah, I guess merchandising would be a good place. It's a perfect fit.
It's one of those things where I think it'd be right up the alley. If certain deadheads, the more astute or the more historic.
Yeah, you got to be into it, but for those who are into it, it'd be the classic way to.
Well, people who have been turned on through the Grateful Dead to, you know,
your forefathers.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I call it.
The
They're
stuff
like
that's
my
our
grandparents.
background.
If you're my
The beatnik stuff.
turn on.
Right.
I look at them as
That's
like
where we're coming. That's
ancient,
exactly where we come from.
grandparents.
Yeah, there you go.
Claim.
That's exactly right. Anybody who wants a sense of history to go along with the Grateful Dead experience, some sense of where it came from. Cassidy, yeah. That's a beautiful tape. It really is. It's well worth having.
Yeah, no, I keep hitting the ads and go on the road.
Yeah.
Keep the number that I call.
Yeah.
Do you still have a house up in Eugene?
MG does. Carolyn does. Yeah.
Do you still have a house up in Eugene?
MG does. Carolyn does. Yeah. She's really more my friend. We were married for a long time. Well, we lived together for a long time, and then we were married for a long time. And we're friends, and so yeah, she still has a house in Eugene. But I never have lived up there with Easy family, wherever they are. They're my friends, really, too. So, and Carolyn now lives down back in San Rafael now. So it's nice to have her closer, go to the road, to get together and talk, hang out.
How come you guys don't play up there more?
Well, it's another one of those things. We have a problem finding some place to play. Austin Stadium is about it for us. We are actually going there pretty soon.
You're going?
Yeah, we are playing in Austin. We just blew out one of our other shows.
No, I'm thinking in terms of I have to get something I love. No, I'll be on your way here in a second.
That's okay. I'm totally bored. I'm not doing anything. I'd be sitting down and we'd be throwing cards in the hat right now.
I do appreciate it.
It's all cards in the hat, Steve.
So good.
So that be one of the stadiums with the CSN.
Actually, we're trying to figure out.
We're trying to put that together. So it's still
a possibility.
Yeah.
And that's like August.
No, that's
No.
quick because we have to
We're pretty soon.
another gig. And,
Yeah, I think it would be June.
Wow.
Yeah, it is good.
But there's no place in Portland. Coliseum is too small still.
There's another place we're looking at in Portland.
The Healy Lights? The one Healy Lights, yeah. I don't know what the hell it is.
But it probably
We owe the Northwest some shows.
Yeah, I was just fairly vocal. I used to write letters all the time.
I know, we've had lots of people. We get tons
Teased
of
me
them.
off when he made one comment about there wasn't enough of a market share or something.
That's a crime.
That was cold. That was cold.
That was
cold.
It was a dumb thing to say.
Yeah, I wrote this note back.
Let's not never reason
of the Northwest
places.
demand he retract your net.
Yeah, it wasn't their fault that the population was.
No, actually it's probably as far as terms of getting a mellow crowd who understands what to do.
Yeah,
control the
Finding a
situation.
decent fucking place to play. Yeah, the audience is great up there. Finding a place, that's the hardest thing, really.
They cleaned up.
Yeah, I went to the last Austin show, and while it was real hot out, I didn't read reports of mega trouble and.
That was fun. Jimmy
well.
Cliff, that was fun.
Yeah, it was like 99.
He was so great.
Yeah, he was real good. And everyone kind of just burned out when Robert Cray came on.
Well, Robert Clay can't hold his candles to Jimmy Cliff.
No.
Jimmy Cliff is like a ball of fire. Robert Clay is like a cool.
No, it was super. And then everyone just died out for a while, laid in the shade, and
You're right.
came on. And it was like, all right, we can wake up again.
Jimmy Cliff is so fucking good. He's got such authority.
I guess the days of the Hope Center are over.
Way too small. I could go in there. We had a hard time going there with my acoustic. Just me and John. There wasn't even the acoustic there. And that stressed the place out.
Yeah, I remember in '83 that was great.
I could probably play there with my band, actually. We could probably play a couple of nights there. That's about, if there's ever time, I'd probably take my band on a West
But you're
Coast
saying that
tour.
even JGB
The Gypsy, my band could play
working around
all these things in good time, as they say. We eventually get around to everywhere, although a lot of times by the time we do, nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, otherwise it gets us out. Go over in a big field of Montana or something.
Oh,
Whatever.
I'll tell you, some places we go to, I don't know, when you go, like Texas, For some reason, we don't never do really very well in the Houston or Dallas. It's like, you know, but we go there.
We play little tiny places there. Remember, like in San Antonio,
that was great.
Years ago, we just barely filled the theater.
Yeah, but
sometimes we did need it. A couple times in San Antonio, no one.
That's right. That's right.
And El Paso too. We had some live.
Are you amazed at how much? I mean, from being able to play there just 7, 8 years ago, be able to. I mean, there were people outside now because none of them could get in, but be able to even pull it off.
Yeah.
And now just shaking your head, going, "There's no freaking way we'd ever play." That's all we get again.
Luckily, it's been slow enough and steady enough. It hasn't been like some dramatic big push, you know. The record made us more visible, but it really didn't make that big of a change in the audience. It just put a little bit of back pressure on it, you know. But it didn't add huge amounts of thundering herds of new deadheads. It's actually more the other way around, that the number of deadheads has slowly been growing to the point where the deadheads could pretty much make us a hit record by buying it, you know. I mean, I don't... That record possibly filled out a little farther than others did because Touch of Grey was such a first top 10 hit.
What are the sales for Go to Last?
Geez, I have.
They're not.
It's
going well, though. I guess it's about.
Yes,
I think it's around 650,000, maybe 700,000. Yeah. No, it was fine. Still selling. But it's, you know, and obviously we didn't have a hit single on it.
What do you think that was? The version. I thought you cut off the jam in the jam on Foolish Heart. Seemed to, from the live tapes anyway, you can listen to it.
Yeah, that's the thing is you can't put out a single that long. You know what I mean? It was already stressed out because it was such a long single, and we refused to cut it. I mean, I just said I am not going to cut this. I don't care. You know, because we made stupid cuts on. I mean, the single version, the actual single version of Touch of Grey was cut mercilessly.
Sure.
That was dumb, you know. And we also did the same thing with Weir's tune, Throwing Stones. And it's just, I said with this record, I said, I am not going to reduce this tune to idiocy by slashing the shit out of it, you know what I mean? So we released it, but that was probably our problem. It may have done better if we didn't. But, you know, the thing is that we're not a single...
That's how you measure.
No, that's not who we are. I mean, it's not what we do, and it's not who we are, and we certainly aren't the top 40. I mean, our relationship to top 40 music is pretty remote. It's almost as remote as our relationship to, say, classical music or even mainstream jazz. You know, we're about 90 degrees off of just about everything.
I know a lot of deadheads were, well, not, you know, I guess Rudy isn't the right, no, I guess Rudy isn't the right word, but hoping it didn't get as big.
Right,
you know, so it's going to cut down on the...
It's all in the hands of deadheads, so I think that probably has some effect, you know, that probably, it's like praying for rain. If enough people pray for rain, it rains, but it's the same thing. Enough people pray for no rain, then it doesn't rain. Don't print that either. That sounds really stupid.
No. No, it really does.
They should all be out there praying for rain.
Do you remember anything from the last time you played here, 1970?
Oh, well, I remember something that almost nobody else remembers. That the guy that opened for us was the mayonnaise kid. Does anybody remember that kid? Or the Oleo margarine kid? He was this guy who inherited a huge fortune from the Oleo margarine family or something, and he was celebrated as being. He wanted to give it all away. He was going to turn it all to cash, and he was going to give it all away. He was like a confirmed hippie or something, and so he opened up and played a few tunes with an acoustic guitar. It was really embarrassing. It was so dumb. You know? It was really this dumb thing, and that's what I remember most about it.
Where did you play?
We played in some metal nightmare kind of room, a big, like Civic Center type of deal. It was all, I remember it being mostly metal. You know? When I had that the classic metal clay, you know, metal building clay. Yeah.
See the moon there?
Is it?
Yeah, kind of up
Well, maybe we can get a couple of seats on the moon rocket.
You guys are throwing application.
As a matter, I think maybe
for space travel, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That is what they should do with the whole defense budget. You know, if they went to, you know, to defuse the whole defense mentality, they should pour it all into space. You know, it's all going to fucking space. Let's go wreck something that nothing lives on. Like we can go and reduce some other planet to a burned out cinder without endangering any life, you know, and we'll go someplace that doesn't have any life of any sort.
We're trying to make it work.
Right.
What is happening as far as personally in Europe and in the rainforest?
Actually, you know, I had an interesting meeting with a guy who's a senator from Brazil. He's actually kind of a Green Party senator who was elected to their version of Congress, and he gave me quite a long rap, along with some other environmentalists, about the state of the forest in Brazil. And actually things are starting to improve a little. They're turning back the big hydroelectric program, which would have offed thousands and thousands of square miles of forest. They're cutting back that. The Rubber Tappers Union, which is a very environmentally conscious organization there, is gaining some actual political power. And some of the effort, Brazil has been trying to settle its own land. That's really been its trip. But their notion is they view the Indians as not citizens. Their version of a citizen is that you pretty much have to be a Portuguese-speaking white person. And they've been settling these people into the forest, hoping to create enough little population pockets so that, you know, it's a geopolitical move to really call Brazil, all of Brazil, the jungle part and everything else, really one huge nation. So those attitudes are changing somewhat, and some of the logging and the clear cutting and burning is actually stopping. So there is some progress in the Brazilian rainforest, and a few other things too are being. It's actually a little. The thing of everybody putting their attention to it is helping. It's one of those things where now that things are starting to change just a little more, it's not time to let up. It's time to press on to bear down more. So we will definitely be doing more stuff about the rainforest one way or another. But again, this is really what this is really about, more than a direct action kind of thing. It's the thing of getting to know what the facts are and wading through the tremendous amount of bullshit in the environmental world. The environmental world is like all the others. It's political, and some groups don't associate with other groups. They don't talk to each other. So part of it is figuring out who it is that's doing the actual work, who it is that has a hands-on relationship to it, and people need to go out. They need to actually go out and get involved. Here in Hawaii, you have a neat situation because this is America. It's also the only American rainforest is here in Hawaii. It is also being under attack.
Yeah, sure is.
In a big way. So people in Hawaii have a unique opportunity here to actually do something about it. See, it's also an eminent domain problem. That is to say, we can't go to Brazil and say, hey, you guys got to change your rainforest attitudes. They say, hey, you guys already trashed your forests. Right, now it's our turn to trash ours. You know, you can't tell us not to, and we can't. We're not in a position to do it. It's more a matter of world economics and so forth. And if the World Bank could get off the trip of sponsoring these so-called, you know, the civilization, the bias toward, the bias that says that hardware means civilization. In other words, if you're a third world country and you don't have hydroelectric dams and you don't have big, huge factories and you don't have all the rest of this stuff, you don't have a viable economy. The World Bank has been subsidizing a lot of the destruction inadvertently and under the guise of the seductive guise of progress. You know, this means progress for your people because we'll have cheap energy. Well, shit, it doesn't mean a thing. What you're going to lose is the the impossible to measure value of the rainforest and the incredible amount of life that exists in it and the complex genetic bank that it represents. I mean, there's no, you can't put a price on that on any level, aesthetically, economically, or anything else. It's a matter of how you choose to deal with things. So really, it's the narrowness of the World Bank's viewpoint. Now, there are people that are going on that really are making the World Bank, I think, more conscious of this, and that's a good effort. It needs to be done, because otherwise there won't be any. It's the old Ryman Auditorium, the original Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, the auditorium and stuff is closed now. Now they have a park, Opryland. Opryland.
Next to Dollyland.
Oh my God.
As far as the situation in Hawaii, are you going to be spending any time? How much time are you going to be on?
Well, I'm not really involved with the rainforest thing here, and I don't know much about it, so it'd be stupid of me to start talking about it. I'm not the guy that people should learn this from. My involvement has to do with what I do, which is scuba diving over here. So I've naturally got involved with the water and the ocean and the reefs and the little margin of life that exists right around the shore. That's what I experienced, and that's what I've learned the most about. And this is also the thing of where I'm really my information is based on my informants in the scuba diving business, and also my own. I've seen what anchors do to coral, and it's one of those things that's fairly obvious. It's a fairly cut and dry kind of deal, really. But there the problem is one that's more bureaucratic than it is a problem, a moral issue, so to speak, you know what I mean, or even an economic one. The reef is the fundamental cornerstone of all of the economy of the islands. I mean, and everything from commercial fishing to certainly most people come to Hawaii hoping to get a little swimming in. So everything that has to do with swimming, snorkeling, commercial fishing, sport fishing, a lot of what is recreational about Hawaii has to do with maintaining a healthy coral reef. The reef is the bottom of the food chain. It provides food for the fish, and so on. And the fish, of course, end up on people's plates and so on. And if you do away with the coral, you're basically trashing the whole economy of the island. I mean, or at least a good large percentage of it. So it's a common sense, to me, it's a common sense kind of deal. And I hope that the people of Hawaii can see that that's the nature of it. The thing about the rainforest is really one of those things that natives here, anybody who lives here or was born here or resident, or is living here or whatever, should find out about what's going on. Make an effort to stop it.
Here, what they're doing is something in Wyoming, drilling for geothermal energy.
Yes.
And if you listen to the natives, they're all firmly in the belief that that's why the volcano is going off right now, and it's heading.
Who's to say they're wrong?
And it's heading. Actually, it's still pretty far away, but it's heading in the direction of the geothermal drillers. And
I mean, figure it out. What's more civilized? To have a society that continues for thousands of years without disturbing much of anything, or to come in with all kinds of hardware and trash everything in 100 years or so. Which one is civilization? That's the problem, and that's essentially the thing about the indigenous peoples in the rainforest all over the place. They're being systematically eliminated everywhere from Malaysia to Brazil, and all of the rainforest. These people are being driven out. They're the ones that know most about it, and not only that, but they have been living a life consistent with what's going on there, and they haven't been damaging it. They've been living there for thousands and thousands of years.
But a good tenant is already going down.
Yeah, it's there's something very askew there about what's being done to the planet, and just everybody needs to see this for themselves and make decisions accordingly. It's like on Earth Day. I'm promoting for next Earth Day. I'm trying to get this thing going where instead of going out and having celebrations and going out and doing stuff, on Earth Day, everybody goes home and turns off the lights, shuts down the electricity in their house, doesn't burn any gas, doesn't drive their cars. You know what I mean? For one day out of the year, I think that would be a kind thing to do, and it would give everybody a day to contemplate a little bit what you could do without, what we don't need. Yeah, so I'm pushing for that for next Earth Day.
Electricity, man.
Yeah. Well, it's going to happen. I mean, they're talking seriously now about the electric car thing.
Yeah.
They can't run it.
They can't.
Down there, people are going to die. People are going to die there. It's incredible.
It's still terrible.
Yeah. It's just not practical to use internal combustion engines down there and be burning fuel and putting those, all that stuff in the air. It's not practical.
Tens of thousands of people moving every day there still.
That's right. It's not going to get less.
It's just like everywhere. You look at they build houses on without seeing where water runoff is.
Right.
And then houses get flooded out.
That's right. I mean, in San Francisco, the thing they're trashing there is the bay. They're filling that slowly, which will change, of course, the weather there. It'll be just like another LA if it all gets filled in. There won't be any prevailing westerly blowing across the nice blue bay and clearing away the smog. It'll end up just hanging there, and it'll be just as dangerous and just as awful as LA is unless the people do something
that
about it.
would be too.
That's right.
More cars here.
Yeah,
Sure. I was amazed at how big
We're working on our
Honolulu
Bay
is.
too in the Bay Area.
Yeah, we're trying to focus now to a local issue because it's one of those things where really, get local because environmentally that really makes the most sense. You know what I mean? So in terms of what we can do for the world is we can do something about our local situation, and that's essentially what everybody else can do too. Focus in on the local stuff.
Kids up where I live up in Sonoma, they went into high school and they cleaned out. They've been working on it. It's an ongoing project. The graduating classes passed it on. They took one little tree, right, that was dying, and they cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Put all their efforts into it. They planted trees there on their own time, stuff like that.
All you gotta do is get them interested.
And they replanted
realize
it.
They're definitely interested in kids.
Yeah.
They're definitely interested. This is like their number one issue.
How can you move to Hawaii?
I couldn't get a full-time job. I tried. I would never left Portland. I'd love to go back. And I called up here one morning, and they gave me a job that night. And I worked both days.
Fantastic. Well, shit, this ain't such a bad place to be.
No. I had, just get over here. And
You had to have some credentials, right?
Have you ever been to the other? You must have been to other parts of the island.
I just finally went to the Big Island to cover the volcano.
We were just up to the north part of this island. It's beautiful.
Oh,
Kauai.
I've been around this island and I've been up to the Big Island. I like the Big Island a lot.
Yeah, that's where I mostly go.
We saw the videos
over there.
But it's very small scale.
Yeah, it's the real Hawaii.
Yeah.
They kept telling me.
Yeah,
It's changing a lot, though.
Yeah.
But that's it. This island is beautiful.
It is. I've never saw it. Where was that? The northwest corner we were in? Northeast?
No, we almost got the northeast corner.
You went to Windward?
Yeah.
Yeah, I live in Kailua.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, we went to Kailua.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I live right across from Bowles Island. I love it.
That's
place
great.
And what is it?
Bird Shit Island. We went to Bird Shit Island.
Yeah, Bird Shit Island.
Wasn't one of them a refuge?
They call it Bird Shit Island. I don't know why. I guess it's pretty small.
Refuge.
Well, that's one of those twin places. I think the one with the twin rocks is.
Yeah,
that's a wildlife refuge for sure.
The birds seem like they know it.
Yeah, they were fearless.
Yeah, I just loaded up my dog and threw in quarantine.
Yeah.
4 months in hell.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
4 months. That's right. Yeah, they don't want to have any of that.
Yeah, they don't want to know about it. They won't even let. There's 8 people here who have guide dogs because they're blind.
I guess they're not going to do it by spider collection.
The island without having to come back in quarantine if people have to travel. So it's just like
they have to, because an island.
I guess you can forget about bringing some of your locusts.
One bacteria coming in can change the whole ecosystem of this island.
Yeah. It's happened.
It's happened before.
They're pretty paranoid about it. You can see it there.
The mongoose.
That's what they're worried about. Not so much the dogs with rabies, but that one will get wild and catch on to the mongoose.
Rabies would really be a disaster on this island. How do you guys?
Oh shit.
When I was reading the history how the white man brought centipedes,
Centipedes, that's a nasty
Fleas,
bummer.
Oh, the poisonous ones here, yeah. The girl got bit the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
They weren't here. They're not natural to here. They were brought in on something.
Everything.
They still bust people for snakes a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Good one.
They don't want to let snakes loose here.
And they've
No
got,
snakes here. Isn't that amazing?
well, they've got
Well, how would they get here?
brown tree snakes that
Yeah.
come in from like ships and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're starting to.
Oh, those are poisonous, aren't they?
They're pretty nasty.
They're from Australia?
They're just really catching on here.
Oh,
They're
great.
worried about it.
Oh, dandy.
Yeah, it's fragile. This is
They go hike
Hey,
it.
it's okay. You got mongoose already. They're waiting for the snakes. They're waiting for the snakes.
Catch up one day and just start tearing out your hair. You know,
Oh,
what it is.
The cockroaches.
Yeah,
They're
they're
pretty
big.
big, huh?
They're armor piercing.
Not here in the hotel.
No,
armor
no.
piercers.
Yeah.
But they're pretty. They're kind of reddish. They aren't at least that
There's
nasty.
18 different kinds here.
18.
At least 18. I read
Whoa.
about it.
They love it here.
Oh, they have the big wide ones to their belt buckle style.
They just had a race. President Bush actually entered the road here.
You're kidding.
And I guess it
Alien
was
Conqueror.
this preliminary contest. They have this big thing called Roach Bowl.
Roach Bowl.
Actually, it's at the Shell in August.
Oh, my God.
It's playing in the home of Roach Bowl 3.
How nice.
And I guess the winner from this advanced to this big contest. And Bush won his preliminary heat, so he got to go to he got to advance on.
Ah,
He trashed William Conrad's roach pretty bad.
William
And
Conrad's
then
roach.
challenged all the owners of the roaches to test them for steroids or something. Which humor. We tried to track him down. We got as far as his Secret Service people in Florida fishing, and they wouldn't put us through.
Did he know anything about it? I'd be surprised.
I guess he did because he wrote a letter, seemingly in his own.
Yeah, he wrote it.
He wrote a letter to one of his friends here or something got him involved in it. He's been doing it even before he was president, and he used to come in last place every time. So this year he issued a challenge.
Last place every
Yeah,
time.
right. The Yellow Roach of Texas was one of them.
Ah!
And this one's called Kindler, Gentler Roach.
Oh, no. God.
That's pretty bad.
It should have made the wires.
I got him on preliminary, and I ran it on the Secret Service guy. You know, it's not every day that I ask him, that I offer a Republican a softball to smash out of here. Right. Take advantage of it. And the guy was real stodgy. No, we're not going to comment on that. Yeah. It's like, I'm sure Bush would have been something. Yeah, that was pretty silly.
Right, President Roach assassinated.
Yeah.
Finish line.
Actually, the promoter was saying he had the roach on display in a cage and it died, so he had to just find one next
Arg!
All the kids in the school were asking him, how come the roach is on its back? And he's like, I'm just resting.
That's resting. Oh, that's the way they sleep.
Yeah.
The eyes are shut.
That guy was pretty funny. You can picture the story. You want a roach hat? Do you want a roach hat?
Well, that shows the depth
of our leaders.
Yeah. Yeah, he was nasty to the, he spoke at the NAB convention when we were playing in Atlanta. We were playing right next door. So there was, on the streets, there were all these deadheads, and then right next door is the National Association of Broadcasters, with all these ties, And Bush apparently had some nasty things to say about the audience. It's too bad.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, the White House invited us to go over there and talk to them about environmental concerns.
Did they really?
For a photo opportunity and all that stuff. We said, no thanks, we don't think so.
Yeah. Good to hear some people, most people just, play guitar. And
Well, we said if you really want to get serious, and talk to over to the hotel. Talk to us. We don't care about it. We don't care about the president. They sent about 20 people over. We had a sort of a major conference, really, but it was pretty surprising that they took us so seriously. But I don't think Bush had to do jack shit about it. It's mostly because they're deadhead White House aides, just like they're deadhead everybody.
Right, they get in on it.
Yeah, and we know a lot of lifers in Washington who were senators' aides and so forth. So they're deadheads reaching the corridors of power.
Yeah, ship
That's talking about Andrew Dice Clay.
Andrew Dice
They said
Clay.
about women getting rid of about jobs, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Andrew
Did you
Dice.
see what happened?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
He's hosting Saturday Night Live tomorrow, and Dora Dunn walked up and says he will not do the show with him. And I've got
The
to
women
go
on the
see
Sinead
show?
O'Connor.
just
now.
one woman, just her, a woman.
And Sinead O'Connor was.
And
She
Sinead
won't do
O'Connor.
it either.
Walking the musical
And-
guest now.
That's too
and,
bad. She's great.
They say that he's, but he's a comedian, man. Why can't you make jokes about women, man?
Well, I think it won't let
It's all comedy. I mean,
men should be able
it's
to.
a good art,
Men
right?
should be able to boycott Roseanne Barr.
Yeah, I've seen it, and he's
Great
funny.
program.
Guys like him.
He's a classic Brooklyn guy.
Gross.
Well, I mean, girls don't like him, but
No, of course not.
so,
Yeah.
they didn't like. There's something.
They didn't like Laurel and Hardy
like
either.
WC Fields and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, that. I don't understand why Saturday Night Live. Why anyone who's like Nora Dunn, who's a comedian, and she should understand that. I'm more protesters have to say the guy he walks off because he's offensive to women. I mean.
She's an actress.
Like,
She
Eddie
probably had a lot of pressure.
offensive to women.
Yeah,
right. Come on.
His promo is great though for the show. He sits on and
Yeah, he
goes,
says, I'm going to be
I'll be there. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be there.
Eddie Murphy was not offensive to her. I mean, it's hard to tell why.
I mean, and I hear the guy isn't at all like that. That's just a stage persona, persona. And
It's just an
he's
act.
a normal guy, and that's just his act.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But
Fly home.
Are you from Brooklyn
Yeah,
originally?
what a trip.
Great
Saturday
place.
Night Fever Land.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of really protein weirdos come from Brooklyn. Randall Jack Elliott's from Brooklyn.
yeah.
He's a good one. That guy, Don Levy, the guy that wrote Ginger Man, writer, he's a total Englishman. But he's really a guy from Brooklyn. There's all kinds of weird people. I mean,
It's a great place. One of the biggest cities in America.
well, people from Brooklyn reinvent themselves. They can
You
have
got
that
to.
power
It's
of completely reinventing
Yeah, you
themselves.
got to swallow it
To
up.
avoid
You
being
have
from
to come up
Brooklyn.
with a rap or
Yeah.
you just don't exist.
Yeah,
really.
you
I
gotta
have
come
no
up
idea what Brooklyn's
gotta come up
like.
with a
I was
rap.
born in Queens.
Yeah, Queens, it's nothing like Brooklyn.
Weird. Speaking of writing, whatever happened to Sirens of Titan?
Sirens of Titan.
Titan is that?
Sirens of Titan.
Yeah.
Well, me and my friend Tom Davis generated a pretty decent second draft screenplay from it, and it looks like I've gotten some interest from Menno, Menno Mayes, who's a friend of ours who he was responsible for the Indiana Jones. He wrote the screenplay for Color Purple, and he's a high-powered friend of ours in the movie business, who's actually helping out with the Grateful Dead movie that we've been talking about. Has expressed some interest in producing it as a television thing. So I've been rethinking it. My original vision of it was to have it be sort of a high-tech movie, but really the story wants more time. It's like a Grateful Dead song, you know what I mean? It wants more time than the standard hour and a half or hour and 40 minutes of a normal feature movie. So I just want to get it. I just want to produce it and have it be as good as I can make it, and I want to protect it from being made into something inferior. You know what I mean? That's been my main interest. I don't care when it happens, and I got my own life to deal with it. I'd love to direct it. I'd like to have a real hands-on relationship to it, and because for me it's very clear. It's a visual, and it's when you read. Occasionally you read a book and it leaves a movie in your head. It's like watching a movie. For me, Sirens of Titan was that kind of experience. So that by the end of this year, I will own it forever. The screen rights to it, anyway, pretty much. And that's basically what I wanted to do. I wanted my getting involved in it was because I love to work so much that my priority is not necessarily to make something out of it, but to avoid having it be made badly into something that's not as good as it could be. It's got such a wonderfully has such a wonderful ironic tone, and to me it's very visual, and it also has a classic first, second, and third act kind of structure that you want for a play or a movie or something like that. It's just very convoluted and very different. But it's basically characters being transformed. And in a way, it's very basically a love story, a triangle, really. And it still is very fresh. It's a fresh, when you read it now, it's funny if it was the fact that it was written in the early 60s, I think. It still is very apt. It also has great range. It ranges from being terribly funny to being very touching and sweet. And it's one of those things that, yeah, I think it's a masterpiece of fiction myself. I think it's, in my opinion, it's Kurt Vonnegut's best book. It's the most complete vision, and to me, it was just it deserves an A+ treatment.
I know that's been kind of going on. You've been talking about it for years.
Yeah, I've had it ever since the mid-70s almost. I've been involved with it. Well, 78 or around there, 77, 78 is when I first got involved with it. And bought the screenwrites to it. I've been working on it off and on ever since then.
He's another one there that sort of has that style that lends itself very to the way he approaches it.
Yeah, well, there's a certain irony to, he's got a certain irony. It's a certain wry tone. Yeah, and the thing of the unexpected. Yeah, he's very provocative, very interesting writer.
You ever met him?
Never have, no. I kind of don't want to bother him, you know what I mean? I got a feeling like the last thing in the world he wants to do is meet somebody like me, that's my feeling is, I would love any input that you care to put forward about the work, but apart from that, I feel like all I would be is another one of those people that he doesn't need in his life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'd sure like to spare him that anyway. And
Does he know that you're on the right?
Yeah, he does.
He knows that part.
Yeah, I don't think he knows who I am, in the sense that I don't doubt that he's gone to any Grateful Dead shows or any such thing. But I've been a fan of his ever since I read that book.
Who are your heroes?
My heroes?
I don't know if that's the right word.
Well, in music, there's all kinds of them. Django Reinhardt's one of my heroes. Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, Bill Monroe, Earl Scruggs, Freddie King, B.B. King, Chuck Berry. Just
Non-musically?
Non-musically, certainly Kesey. Kesey is one of my heroes, in a way. Kerouac, Allen Ginsberg, Burroughs, our artists, our writers, our poets, our artists. Lots of painters, Paul Klee, Picasso, Salvador Dali.
See the gallery over here just got convicted of selling fraudulent dollies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's right over here, the one on the gallery.
Don't get this gallery. That's incredible. There's so many authentic dollies. It's, you'd have to be really
like peripheral involvement. They counted him as being hands-on in the process, and they also handle like Red Skeleton and Tony Curtis.
Gotcha.
And a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah, somebody's actually putting out my paintings, my drawings in limited editions too, lithographs of them. Which is one of those things. Yeah, I was originally an art student. I do computer graphics now. But I haven't had any of them converted to flat art, but I spent some time experimenting around with the airbrush about a year or so. Worked for it about 5 years ago. And I did also a lot of watercolors and a lot of pen ink. And I just did a whole lot of stuff. I kind of had a huge spasm of work which I hadn't done for quite a long time. Now I work really intermittently, but I only do it for fun. I don't do it very seriously, but it's interesting to me that some of it is, that now there's actually enough of a demand for some of it that's...
Who's dealing with that? Yeah.
Well, merchandising, I think, is probably one place to hear it, but I think they're mostly limited edition deals, you know what I mean? Signed lithographs, like 500 copies or something, signed and numbered, you know, that kind of deal. But probably a book of stuff may come out at some time in the future. My best stuff is all little stuff, but in this case, there's a few big airbrush things that are coming out actual size. But my favorite of my own stuff. I don't do it for other people, so
Yeah.
you know, I only do it for yourself. Yeah, I only do it for fun, really, and because I like to do it. But there's a whole lot of little stuff that's about postcard size that I think works for me. It's effective on some level. I don't know. Art is like one of those things that, you know, it either does something to you and you like it for some reason or another, or this is Ferry Lewis, this guy here, the black guy, who was one of the original old-time guys that recorded in the 20s and 30s. He recorded one of the first recorded versions of Casey Jones. Casey Jones. Yeah, he's a real guy, and he really is. That's what I remember about this movie. This happened just like maybe 3 years before he died. The black guy, I forgot about that. Ferry Lewis. Yeah. You only hear him play for about 3 seconds, and that's it. I think it already happened. I think we talked about everything that I ever knew anything about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do anything, actually. It's all in there. It's like, I've had dreams of doing it.
If I talked about Garcia, what would I ask him?
It's like you were talking about Flanagan and not wanting to impose on him. You know, in a weird way, I felt like that. Though I've known, you know, from reading everything I knew, that it wouldn't be any kind of trickery.
Why are your questions?
No, this is the biggest girl I've had in quite some time. Truly respect what you stand for, how you maintain it. It keeps a lot of people going strong.
Yeah, well, it works for us, too.
Yeah, it's the right, cheaper than your analyst game. It's a lot more fun, too. So, definitely, got a lot going for it. I do appreciate you taking the time. I'll make you a copy of that tape anyway.
That'd be great. I'd love to hear that. That'd be fun for me. Guitar pick. No kidding. I tell you, when you don't have one, the hardest thing to come up with something that's kind of like them, you know?
Didn't have one.
Yeah, it's amazing. I came here with all my stuff. I looked in the case. See, I already gobbled that one a long time ago. I gobbled that on my last trip to Hawaii.
A tab of beer can?
Nah, it tears the strings up. I had those plastic toothpicks about as close as I could get. A quarter really rips the strings up. It doesn't sound worth a shit either.
Wait, let's see, there's something else. No, not a match.
The matchbook, fold it over a couple of times, but it only lasts about a minute and a half.
Yeah, they're disposable.
There's not enough on the old fingers there.
Just to a plastic comb sometimes
There's
works.
something else.
You just try and think of something.
There's something else.
For picks,
A cockroach.
cockroach.
That's why a
The
cockroach.
cockroach is back.
It's kind of messy, huh?
Cockroach shells picks, they're extremely rare.
Well, if I can make a request, really, you gotta play Cats Under the Stars.
Oh yeah, we may play it.
Yeah.
It's definitely something we play.
Yeah.
It may play out, yeah.
they do promo and all week.
Oh, Cats Under the Stars.
Yeah.
Wow.
A little radio promo.
Right, well, they'll have
That's the only JTB song they use, and everything else comes out of it.
Yeah, it's a
Sure.
weird.
Country Grand, Friends of the Devil.
because, hey, you know, I have many records.
But they don't have access to the other tapes and stuff. Did you by chance have any passes?
Let's
How
see.
many days back?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you some passes to show, but what if you call me tomorrow evening, okay? Or if you don't get me, just leave me a message, and I'll remember. I'll take it with me.
If you don't get him, you can call me, and I'll write your name down on something. I'll give you.
Yeah, because I have seats, but I could give you 10.
Yeah,
Right.
For Hilo, I traded a day work today, and I get a day off.
Now, also, I'll give you a pass, and you come back to you, okay? And